Hi guys, how you doing? This is Davina here, ButterChocLocs, and I'm coming at you today with a very interesting video called Lock and Natural Hair Do's and Don'ts. Number 1. Do not listen to negative comments. Don't listen to negative comments about your hair. It's an ignorance that can leave a really lasting effect on the way that you view your natural hair and your locks. For example, dreadlocks, they are basically dreaded, awful, ugly, disgusting, wrong, and then locks, because your hair is essentially locked up. And even with the whole locking thing as well, I mean, we can go a lot deeper into this, pro back with this thing, but for the most part, yes, locks, they're beautiful. That's why I call them locks, because I don't like the idea of calling them dreadlocks. I mean, it's whether you want to call them, say you're Rastafarian, or say that you only have locks for style or for fashion. You kind of need to know what you're getting into first before you actually get started. Number 2. Do keep an open mind about your locks. You are now entering a world of complete variety. There are so many different kinds of locks. You can have them palm rolled, you can have them interlocked, you can have freeform, you can have manicured locks. Even if certain kinds of locks, so you may prefer manicured locks over freeform locks, or you may prefer palm rolling over interlocking. Either way, you need to keep a very open mind about this category of hair that we have been put into, really and truly. So, keep an open mind. Number 3, please do not expect your hair to look like that fluffy, curly fro you saw on that girl on YouTube or that Tumblr blog. Really? You need to understand that your hair texture, your hair growth pattern, your hair curl pattern, whether it's 4B, 2A, whatever your hair is, you need to understand that your hair will not look like another girl's hair. And that's where a lot of women and young girls as well get quite despondent in the fact that they feel that, I wanted my hair to look like this when I went natural. It doesn't look like this. So what do? They go back to relaxers, they go back to the weaves, they go back to things that are no good for their hair. And really and truly, no. Embrace the hair you were given and learn to work with what you have. So you can take tips from what you've seen, but then you adjust it, apply it, and customize it to your own hair. Number 4. Do be as creative as possible with your locks. I can do curls, crimps, twists, zigzags, bobs, pin-ups, anything. As long as you keep up with, being creative with your locks, you will then realize how versatile they are and how much they are just like normal hair, but just in a different form. That's all it is. So keep up with the creativity. Number 5, do not over process or color your locks. Now, we may think that locks are indestructible because of the way they look and the way they feel, but at the end of the day, they are still individual strands of hair. And what happens is, with naturally loose hair, when you apply a dye, you can actually wash it out completely, because the water is running all the way through the strands of hair and you are able to clean the hair. With locks now, because it is, weaved in and knotted in, the color dye solution gets inside the locks, lodges in there, and is often almost impossible to get out every single trace of dye, especially if you're not scrubbing and cleaning the hair. But then what happens is, if you don't wash the hair properly, the dye remains inside the center of the lock, because what usually happens with color is that you have to leave it on longer so that it can soak into the lock, but then it needs to be washed out more. So what you find is, if you don't wash out the dye properly, it stays in the center of the lock, right there in the middle. And what then happens is, the dye is not deactivated, so it remains activated and continues working and working and working. And then what this does is eventually rots your hair out from the inside out. So you'll find after a while, especially if you don't moisturize your hair properly, that your hair feels really brittle and dry, and after maybe a year or 2, 3 years probably, you can actually snap your locks off, or they feel really, really soft, and you can just pull out thread by thread and their hair will just disintegrate. So please do not overcolor your natural hair. Number 6, and probably the most important for lock starters, do be patient. I cannot stress to you how important patience is. Now, I know that you're used to having your hair neat, having all your little fuzzies, you know, slick back and then curl down with the baby hairs, you know, but for the most part, you are used to your hair looking neat. If you want to slick it back, brush it back, put some gel in the front, tie a hat, everything is neat. And what happens in that first year of locking is that your hair will not be neat. It will be fuzzy, it will be messy, it will feel dirty, you want to scratch your hair, you can't wash it as often as you probably have before, you can't comb through it to probably, just get that contact with the comb and the scalp going on there. You can scratch and dig, but it probably makes it worse. It is actually, the first year of locks can be quite a distressing time for people who are not used to just having their hands left out of their hair. And so this often leads people to just say, do you know what, I can't do this anymore, I can't deal. And they just take it all out. And then a couple years down the line, they're thinking, you know what, I should have kept it, my hair would have been so long by now. And it happens to all of us, happened to me, not with deciding to do locks, but when my hair was natural and it wasn't looking like that curly head girl on YouTube, and I'll go back and relax it. And as soon as I wash out the relaxer, I'm like, oh shoot, what did I just do? It's too late then, you've got to start the process all over again. So I would say be super, super patient, people. It pays off in the end. I mean, my first year, I did all kinds of things to kind of get around the fuzziness. I had whole headbands, I had head scarves, all kinds of different colors and textures and things to kind of match my outfit. Accessories, jewelry to probably distract from what's going on up here. And yeah, I made it work. And once you get past that first year of distress, absolute distress, once you get past that first year, you're like, you know what, that weren't so bad. Bring on year 2, bring on year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until you're ready to do whatever with your locks. So I would say definitely, people, be patient.